Welcome back to the channel. I am Brian Daniels, and this is my review of the brand new Netflix docuseries Wrestlers that was just released a few days ago on September the 13th. And I have had the pleasure of finishing this show, watching all 7 episodes, and now it's time to give you my full review of this show. But before I do that, please do us a favor here on the Domain and like this video, subscribe to our channel. We cover all sorts of things from pro wrestling to video games to conventions and so many more things here on the channel. So please, if you could do us that favor, we'd greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get on to it. So this show is all about a very special place in professional wrestling called Ohio Valley Wrestling. And it's really special to me because, well, this place is only like 20 minutes away from where I live. And I've only lived down here in southern Indiana now for about 4 years. And I have had the pleasure of going to several shows at OVW. And I was even at a few shows while they were recording this documentary. And if you watch it, you probably have even seen me in it. I'm in it for about maybe 5 seconds. You guys can see it right here with my buddy Eric, who also is here on the Domain. But outside of that, this show isn't about me. This is about the wrestlers at OVW. And, you know, if you don't know anything about OVW, well, if you're a big pro wrestling fan like I have been for a very long time, you know that Ohio Valley Wrestling is where a lot of the big names that went to WWE came and started their careers, such as John Cena, Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, just to name a few, started their careers there in what they called the golden era of OVW. And that is what OVW has always been known for. Well, now we're talking about the current era of OVW, which is ran by Al Snow, legendary, famous WWE superstar Al Snow. Yes, he was in WWE. And it's also now owned by Matt Jones of Kentucky Sports Radio. And yes, believe it or not, the current mayor of Louisville, Craig Greenberg, which I don't think I even knew that until I started watching this show, which I thought was really cool. But anyway, it's also special to me because I went to OVW while they were filming this show. And as I said, I'm in it for a split second. But outside of that, this show is about the wrestlers. And they feature Hollywood Haley J, Mr. Spectacular, Jesse Goddard, Cash Flow, the Indian Lion Shira, just to name a few. And I love what this show does about really connecting you with these various personalities, these various characters, if you will. And you get to see and see their day-to-day lives. But not only that, you get to see what it's like to own and run a wrestling promotion. And this hasn't been anything we've really seen quite like this in a documentary type of series. And I love it. I love it for that, not just that alone, but it's really cool to just see how it is to run a wrestling promotion. And not many people that watch a lot of pro wrestling like I do really get to see the day-to-day operations of how a promotion is ran, how a show is ran and produced, which you know, seeing Al sweat like he does, you know, or be stressed out while watching, and even having a monitor go out. That episode, man, that first episode of the show was insane, by the way. But not only that, but getting to see, you know, how promos are filmed and how sometimes, yes, these people do make mistakes. And to the people that say wrestling is fake, no, it's not, by the way. These people really do put their bodies on the line to entertain you. And it really just kind of draws you in, seeing their personalities here and seeing that they're human, just like us. They have their flaws, right? And we see that in Haley J and the relationship between Haley and her mom Maria, and what that's like in and out of the ring, which I thought was really special. And it is really special. And then seeing a guy like Shira, big, huge, strong. He kind of reminds me of Batista. He always kind of has, even before I watched this documentary. I've seen him in person wrestle. But to see just how how much of a passion that these people have for this business and what they're willing to do to be successful. And, I've had the pleasure of going to these shows and witnessing this operation firsthand myself. And, you know, really, I have a much more appreciation for Brian Kinnison, by the way, which, man, you got me a little teary eyed there, Brian, on that part about you and your family. And you don't realize what these wrestlers also have to sacrifice too, just to be successful. And it's a really gripping show, and I highly encourage anyone who is a pro wrestling fan, even if for some reason you've never heard of OVW, watch this show. My wife is a fairly new pro wrestling fan. She's only really been into pro wrestling now for a little over a year. She's heard of OVW, but she's never really experienced it, and I've never taken her yet. And she watched this, and this was her first experience of OVW and getting to see these people. And they're not just characters, but they're actual people. They go through things. They go through shit. And it's just crazy to see what they have had to deal with. And, the summer tour, which I thought was really cool. I remember last year hearing about this summer tour, and I'm really kicking myself in the head not going to the big one, because that looked like such an amazing show. And just seeing what it's like to help this promotion, not go into the red, right? And I will say that they really wanted to make Matt Jones look like a heel. I don't know Matt Jones. I've never met the guy. This was really my first experience with Matt Jones, and hopefully one day I'll get to talk to him, meet him in person, and maybe talk with him about this show. But they really wanted to make him look like a heel here, and I guess I could kind of see at first how they really wanted Matt to look like the bad guy and present him as kind of an asshole. And yet, he is the money man. He's the money guy. Whereas Al is the business guy. Al's the guy who has had the experience in all of this, right? I mean, Al's been wrestling for a very, very long time. I mean, he said from the age of 15. So when he started getting into pro wrestling, and he knew at that moment, at that age, that that's what he wanted to do. And he's been doing it. And so when you have those different personalities and they kind of clash, you really see that here in this show. And I'm not going to spoil what happens with Matt, but there's some scenes in here that are really captivating. There's a lot of things I didn't know about Matt. I've never known about this guy until now, until this show came out. And you just really see the human side. I mean, I know a lot of people see these people as huge, big, tough people. And don't get me wrong, they are. But you strip that away and you really see in this show their human side. And the producers of this show did an amazing job of really putting this show together. And big props to them. I remember, as I said, I went to a few OVW shows. There was the OVW Combine I went to last year. I went to the 1200th episode of OVW. Those were the two shows I went to while Netflix, or while they were there producing this show. And it was really cool to see like all the cameras moving around and these big, huge cameras that they were wearing on these backpacks. That was different. Just seeing the cinematography. Cinematography is amazing in this show. Seeing, the matches and how they're portrayed and how they're very well shot. I have to give them credit for that, as well as just doing a really great job of putting that together and really just letting these stars of OVW shine and tell their story. So if you haven't yet, go and watch the Wrestlers docuseries right now on Netflix. Do I like it? Is it good? You bet it is. It's absolutely worth going and checking out. Go watch it. And also, if you just so happen to be in the Louisville area or the Kentuckiana area, go to a show. OVW does a live show every Thursday night from the Davis Arena. go to a show. It's actually not even that expensive to go. And you get a live show experience. So go and support OVW. I'll drop some links in the description below on how you can get tickets or how you can go to their website and find out what the dates are coming up and things like that. And I want to thank all of you for watching this video and giving my take and my personal review, or opinion rather, on this series. I absolutely loved it. I hope we get a season 2. I like to see them come back and do even more and do an update. You know, how is OVW doing now? I mean, they must be doing pretty decent. They're still in business. So let me know your thoughts on the Netflix Wrestlers show in the comments section below. We do read the comments. We respond to your comments. We appreciate you for your comments. And until the next one, I'll see you guys.